Look, I'm sorry, folks. You all already know when that music is on, I start feeling it. I'm just saying, my shoulders start moving. I have to get into it. It's just part of the culture. That's it. So, folks, it's Friday. You know what that means. I totally didn't mean to rip off AEW or Jim Ross on that. Totally didn't mean to. But that actually kind of plays into this because today I have a really great guest on from Power Pro Lucha, and we're gonna have some fun. It's been a really big week for professional wrestling, so I'm glad to have him on here and to talk about the promotion, his favorite matches, what's it like being a professional wrestler, and we're just gonna have some fun with it. All right. So are you all ready? You're ready, right? Okay, cool. Then let's go. Hey, folks, what's up? This is another episode of the Hungry Bleek Show. I am your host, Antonio Pomares, aka the Hungry Bleek. So, this is a very special episode because it's a crossover episode, a tag team episode, if you will, between the Hungry Bleek Show and Black Sci-Fi TV. Thank you very much to Maurice for tagging up with me. All right, I'm gonna stop saying the word tag because it's starting to get a little derivative for me. We've got a great show today. It's going to be a lot of fun. Something a little different and new for me, but you know that my fandoms go across the culture, really, as far as geek culture, from comics to movies to TV to professional wrestling to pretty much everything under there, gaming. But it's Friday. It's been a week. So let me ask you, as always, folks, how are you doing? How was work? I know. Work is like that sometimes, and you got to work with those people. But as I always say, do what you got to do today, so you can do what you want to do tomorrow. Cool. All right. So, how are your friends, your loved ones? I know. They say things like that, but that happens in every type of relationship, no matter what it is, whether it's familial, romantic, platonic, friends, whatever it is. Yeah, they're gonna do some things, and you're gonna do some things to them too that they don't like. But it's still all love. It's still all love. Did you drink water? Did you take your meds? Not trying to please you, just want to make sure that you're being the best you that you can be and take your meds, whether it's for a physical, mental, or emotional ailment. I want you to be the best you that you can be because an empty vessel cannot pour into anything else. Can't do it. You got to be good so you can go out and give love to all the people out there near you, and it's reciprocated, hopefully. All right. So enough of my babble. We're gonna have some fun here. So I've been a professional wrestling fan for a long time. I was out of it for a while, and then three letters caught me: ECW, and I was back in. And from there, it just kind of exploded, and it taught me that there were other promotions out there that I didn't know about that I wasn't really seeing on TV. And I just dove right back in and loved it. Every single thing about, well, not every single thing about it, let's be clear. As the last couple of weeks have probably shown us that not every single thing about professional wrestling has always been on the up and up. But it's just an incredible art form and sport, and just so many things mixed into it. So I'm so lucky today to be speaking to the guest I have. He's going to tell us all about Power Pro Lucha and what's it like to be a professional wrestler and everything else that I can possibly think of to ask him. Folks, this is Danger Hawk.
Hey, what's up? What's going on? Happy to
Not
be
much,
here.
man. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. I thank you so very much for being here. Like we were talking about earlier, last couple weeks have been really big in professional wrestling. There's been a lot, maybe big, but not necessarily in a good or a bad way. Just big. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I,
Uh,
I agree.
you know what I mean? But the last few years, there's been a real resurgence in professional wrestling, having more companies out that are more out there, a little more money behind them, or even having TV deals and being just more spread out. So that brings me to Power Pro Lucha. But first, I want to ask about you. How did you get started in professional wrestling?
So as a fan, or like just getting into the business?
Both.
So as a fan, I've been watching it pretty much my entire life.
Hmm.
Like some of my early memories are like very late '90s, early 2000s when I was like maybe like five or like six or something like that. Watching like
Wow.
that the Attitude Era, uh, and the Ruthless Aggression Era, as they call it. Uh, so yeah, it's just I was into it from like a very young age, and then as I got older, somehow, some way, I got into like the outside of WWE stuff like TNA, Ring of Honor, wrestling in Japan, uh, the Indies, pretty much everything I could get, like I could watch, I could find. And then when I was in like middle school, I guess I started thinking what I was gonna do with my life. Uh, and nothing really stood out other than wrestling. That was the only thing that like I felt passionate about to where I would want to do it, like
Hmm.
for a long extended period of time. So yeah, around 2015, 2016, I started training. I trained at the Chikara Wrestle Factory in Northeast Philadelphia. Uh, I was there from 2015, 2016 up until it closed in 2020. Uh, and yeah, that was my start.
Um, yeah, just that it. I whenever I've listened to wrestlers talk about what they wanted to do in like as far as their lives, they had tried other jobs, but something about wrestling just hooked into them, and they couldn't shake it. It was just a calling, if you would
Mhm.
say. So that you were even thinking about it that young is wild to me. That it had that much of a hold and effect on me, but I could understand that because I mean the Attitude Era was big.
Yes, it definitely will.
I mean we still do like cross chops. And stuff. I mean we still do
Yeah.
some of those things. I mean let's be honest. I'm a grown man paying taxes, and I'm still and every so often I'm like, and I'll do it and I'll go, no, I can't be doing that. I'm too old for that. I'm too old for that. But I still go. But was a very fun thing. So training at Chikara, I never got to actually watch anything from there, but I always heard the beauty of it. What was it like being there?
It was really cool. Like my time there. Obviously, like you hear all like different stuff, but I mostly like had a positive experience.
Hmm.
Uh, it was definitely like unique in terms of the presentation and the style that they were presenting wrestling in, with the more comic book characters and stuff like that, fantasy type wrestling. Um, yeah, it was definitely unique. I definitely learned a lot from being there. It was like being away from there these last few years. I definitely learned, looking back, how much I like learned being there.
Hmm.
Like how much actual like stuff that you can translate to maybe TV or higher level indie companies that I probably wouldn't have picked up if I started somewhere else. Uh, so I definitely I look back on it fondly, my time there. Um, but I'm definitely happy in the place I'm at now and where I'm at now.
Oh, that's awesome. Like even for you to say that you learned like to quote uh Kenny Omega, the great fundamentals. And like and you I don't know why, but that always that hearing him say that I can hear him say that in my head about 50 times a day because it's just hilarious to me.
Yeah.
But that you learn that like not just the training part of it as far as like the physicality, but also just learning lessons as well. Just learning that, which is beautiful. So how did you get into Power Pro Lucha?
So Chikara closed in 2020, and for a few years there, I was just kind of just an indie wrestler, working different places. I've been pretty much like everywhere in the Northeast, like every state in the Northeast. I've been to Canada. Um, I've been to like the West Coast a little bit and to the South a little bit. Uh, but it definitely, I felt like we were in Philadelphia, especially missing that structure and missing like that place that represents the area as like hopefully the top place that you want to be and that
Hmm.
everybody has their eyes on. Uh, there's been promotions that have been grinding and like working real hard, like Labor of Love Wrestling in Philadelphia as well. Um, but I felt like we need a variety. We need a few places, a few destination promotions. So me and my tag team partner Razorhawk, we got together and we just started talking, and Power Pro Lucha started. Power Pro Lucha came to be. Um, it's basically a lot of the old crew from Chikara
Oh.
coming together. A lot of not everyone, but a lot of the familiar faces and some new faces.
Hmm.
After Chikara closed, I started training at the Worldwide Dojo in Bristol, PA. That's run by Cheeseburger. Uh, he is a part of the promotion as well, and a lot of his students.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, that's pretty much how we got started. That's the roster right there on the screen. Some of the
You,
top talent in the Northeast, in my opinion.
absolutely. I mean, you when I saw Cheeseburger, I said, "Oh man, that just made me." Of when I finally was able to watch Ring of Honor, that was one of the people that stood out because when it gets Cheeseburger, and I had my back turned when I heard the name, and I said, "What?" I turned around and I was like, "So I'm expecting like this, big guy, big bruiser kind of a guy, and he comes out, and I go, well, I got to sit down and check this out. What I forgot whatever I was doing to it. That's how much I was caught off guard. I forgot what I was doing. I said, well, I got to check this out because that don't make no sense. And it was because I'd always heard about Ring of Honor, but I'd never been able to watch it because in my area it was never on a channel like here in Jersey. And then when I finally got to watch it, it switched to like I think 3 different channels, but I was still trying to watch as much as I could. And I was just floored at again a promotion outside of WWE that was doing things. So when I saw Cheeseburger on here, I said, that's an endorsement right there. That's a huge endorsement right there. And I love the fact. And when I looked at the roster, I saw so many varying types of wrestlers. Um, the mask, which I've started to really love masks of wrestlers in the last maybe 3 or 4 years.
Okay,
Uh, just
right.
because I think it's just there's something really cool. Like when I would make my wrestlers on a video game, sometimes I would have a mask, sometimes I wouldn't, or sometimes I would just have the character take the mask off at a certain point and just start wrestling, what have you. Because that's the closest that I will get to taking a bump ever. I give y'all all the credit in the world. I give you all the credit and applause in the world for that. Um, so what sets Power Pro Lucha apart from other promotions?
I think it's the roster.
Hmm.
I personally feel like we have one of the best rosters on the Indies right now. I think it's the presentation. I think it's the stories, uh, the style. It's very much like it's not really a lot of places after Chikara went away that feel like you're watching a live action comic book, and
Yes.
that's pretty much what we're trying to do with Power Pro Lucha. Uh, so I think that's the biggest thing is blending kind of nerd culture with wrestling, uh, and that's where you get Power Pro Lucha.
As we talked earlier, professional wrestling was kind of an outlier, and now within the last recent years, it has kind of become part of it. But there's always been little things that have been in there that you've seen, whether it's been Rey Mysterio's gear, Johnny Gargano, um, TJP, who have always kind of like floated little things in there. Obviously, the New Day with gaming and their gear. I mean, when they came out as Saiyans that one year, I was like, man, that's a tough act to follow. Jeez, but I
Yeah.
but I love that blending. I love the fact that you do have that, but also I love the graphics for your events. and them harkening back to the days of Nintendo.
Yeah.
What made you choose that, or was it something that you just came on the top of your head, or you were like, I think this would be really cool if we did it after video games and such?
So my tag partner Razorhawk is like a big Super Nintendo fan. Like
Mm.
that was his childhood. Um, that's not particularly my thing. I'm more like maybe like comic books and stuff like that. But I wanted something that was felt like a theme and felt, fun and something you haven't really seen a lot
Mhm.
in wrestling and especially indie wrestling. So that's kind of where the idea came from. Like, let's base all the shows around SENES, A Link to the Past, Power Bomb, uh, Chrono Trios coming up in September. That's the theme of this season, this year, and that will continue to change as we go on. Hopefully more and more years to come.
Now, you just said that you are more of a comic book fan. Is there a comic book character, or a comic book in general, I should say, um, that kind of influenced who you are as a wrestler?
Oh, for sure. When I was given the character, Danger Hawk, uh, I definitely felt a lot of like Miles Morales vibes in Spider Man, and so I tried to, integrate that as much as I can into the character. Um, that's the biggest one would be Miles Morales and Spider Man in general, like every incarnation of Spider Man.
I'm not mad at that inspiration at all. I'm not mad at that at all. One of my favorite characters, and it definitely with your style of wrestling and high flying and seeing some of the incredible things that you do, Miles would be proud and would applaud you, and would be at every
I hope so.
event, and would be at every event, which is awesome. I definitely I love seeing wrestlers be influenced by something, whether it is a video game or whether it's a comic book character or even a movie, something like that, some type of influence, and whether it's in their gear, maybe the name of a move. I always love seeing that. It kind of brings it home a little bit for me, being more of a geek myself, being comic book and stuff like that, so I can relate to it, um, which is awesome. So you have, like you're saying, you have an event coming up in September, Chrono Trios. Can you tell us about that? And the fact it's going to be 2 nights, which is awesome.
Yes, Two Nights, Chrono Trios is going to be a tournament. All trios competing to be the Triple Tech champions. Uh,
Mm.
there'll be like medals and a trophy for the winners. Uh, it definitely harkens back to King of Trios from
Mm.
Chikara a little bit there. Um, but definitely just bringing back trios tournament wrestling back to Philadelphia uh, is important to me because I'm part of a trio, and I just like trios wrestling in general. Like I feel like it's really fun. It's really unique, uh, as opposed to just doing a basic, like not basic but standard tournament.
Mhm.
Uh, and also aside from the tournament, there will also be like a lot of big matches on the card, non-tournament action, big tag matches, big singles matches. We have a ladder match on night 2.
Oof.
Yeah, that's gonna be wild. So it's really just the biggest weekend that we've put on yet, and hopefully moving forward will be our biggest weekend every year.
The fact that you're doing a 2 night event is awesome,
Thank you, thank you.
because a 1 night event, yes, is obviously great, awesome, but the fact that you're doing 2 nights, maybe like back to back, is awesome. That's another level. Like that's on some like New Japan type of stuff. And I'm not just saying, I mean, because they were the ones that really started doing like 2 night events. So the fact that you're doing that is so cool, and I think that's awesome. And giving people 2 nights of fun, 2 nights of incredible wrestling is such a gift to us, truthfully.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be an amazing weekend. You're gonna see a lot of different wrestlers. You get to follow the tournament over both nights, which is always awesome.
Oh,
Because it's obviously the first round will be night 1, and
mhm.
then night 2 will be the second round and the finals. So it's tournament wrestling is just it's a lot of fun to follow. Like obviously, like King of the Ring, the G1
Mhm.
Climax. Uh, it's it's just definitely like a different way of presenting wrestling, and it always kind of hits when you see it's like a team or a singles wrestler go through the tournament from the beginning and fight their way all the way to the end. Uh, so yeah, that was the inspiration.
Yeah, I was always a fan of terms like that, whether it was like a round robin or a knockout tournament. It's always cool to kind of like, I don't bother fantasy booking because I know the matches that I would come up would be horrible, so I don't even bother thinking about it. I just enjoy what I'm being like given. So I always would love seeing two people that you might not see together
Mhm.
going at it, different styles, or just two people who never have, or maybe two people who might have history. And you're looking like, I hope they meet up in this round so they
Right.
can, go at it again and stuff like that. And for it to be trios, I'm new to trios wrestling, watching it. So that's exciting to me to have that. Tag team, dig it. Singles, dig it. But seeing trios working together, frequent tags, and if there's a trios move or finishers or sequence, bruh, I'm all yes. I'm sitting there like a kid with a big piece of cake, just sitting there like just happy as anything possible. So that's going to be cool. And this is going to be excuse me. This is September 12th and 13th
Yep.
that you'll be giving it. Tickets are still available.
Yes, tickets are still available. Front row for both nights are sold out, but there are still some seated tickets available, second to fifth row. And we also have standing ticket options available as well,
Mhm.
Friday and Saturday for those events.
Oh, outstanding! Congratulations on those rows being sold out.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Like people want to be up in that front row to get every bit of that action of what they get. That's awesome for me. Yeah, that's I'm just very excited to see like someone like bringing up professional wrestling and having fun with it and doing it in such a great cool way. I'm legitimately excited for you and everything that you guys are doing is awesome.
Thank
Seriously.
you. I appreciate that.
So now I forgot to ask you like what made you go with your particular style of wrestling?
It was just the training
Mm-hmm.
that I got at Jakara. Um, Obviously, being trained by people like you know Orange Cassidy, uh, Hollow Wicked. It just that's kind of the style that you're gonna start with, that you gravitate towards, especially with my size as well. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
not the tallest, biggest guy in the world, but I can move and I can fly a bit. So that was just a style that I took to uh, fairly quickly. And then once I left Chikara and moved to the Worldwide Dojo, training with Cheeseburger, he's been to Mexico. He's trained in Mexico. He had time there with Skida, uh, and so I still continue to grow with that style as well as starting to mix a little bit of like technical wrestling. I've definitely gotten improved in that area as well, learning more from Burger. Um, but yeah, it was just basically at Chikara, that was kind of my experience. I took to it well. I liked training in that style. Obviously, stuff that happened outside of the ring, like not here to invalidate anybody's experience. Like it's unfortunate for sure, and like things had to change when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to being at Chikara, in my opinion. But I definitely liked being there, and I liked like learning that style of wrestling. It was just real unique, and it definitely I think helped me stand out as a wrestler, as opposed to trying to wrestle him like I'm 6'8" or something like that. You know what I mean? Like that's just not it's not gonna work. So
That's cool. Yeah, I thought like looking at your video, I thought you were much taller. Like I don't know how tall you are, but I thought you were like a tall guy in the video. I think sometimes just the ring and maybe who you're with, the mask maybe adds height. I have no idea.
well, I appreciate that.
I,
I really do. I'm happy that you got that from those pictures.
yeah,
I must
that's
have
what
been
I thought.
posing the right way. I must have had the right angles, and that's awesome. I love to hear that. I'm gonna keep it up.
I also think that it's just because I'm 5'5", I'm short. So I think that when I look at wrestlers, and just thinking of professional wrestling stereotypically, you're thinking of more tall people. Like even when they say, "Oh, this person is short," and they end up being 5'9", I'm like, "No, that's not short. That's not.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
short."
That's like average height. That's an average height man. Like
Exactly. Yeah.
in
So
my
when they
opinion.
say that, I'm always like, oh, because I know that Taz. I think Taz says he's 5'9". I want to say something like that. So I know it's something that he will like talk about being shorter, being 5'9", and I'm like, that's a while. But then seeing everything that you are all able to do on a regular basis,
Yes.
maybe it's just because you are just above us all, and you're just so much like bigger characters and bigger than life. So maybe that's it too.
I don't want to say that. I just try. I try hard. I'm not above anybody. I just, you know, I try my best and I put my best foot forward every time I'm in the ring.
Well, I mean, it's fantastic work, and everything that you're doing with the promotion is beautiful. And I just love to see things grow and just becoming and expanding and just doing that. Speaking of that, as a professional wrestler, I'm sure you have, you do partake of what's out there, different promotions, whether larger ones or maybe smaller indie promotions. If you could, off the top of your head, what would be 3 of your dream matches across whether it's wrestlers from today, yesterday, ones that you're thinking of in the future, like, wow, that person is really cool. I would love to, be in the ring with them in, let's say, 5 years or something like that. Like 3 people from across time.
Oh man. I'll say for sure I'm a big like present day AJ Styles. I'm a big AJ Styles fan.
Ooh, okay.
A big Eddie Guerrero fan growing up, so I'll name Eddie as well.
Yes.
A big Hayabusa fan. In my like teenage years, like before I got into wrestling, when I really decided like I wanted to do this, I was a big Dragon Gate fan. So like I would love to like compete in Dragon Gate and wrestle like all those guys that are still around and still doing it. I'm a big Bryan Danielson fan as well.
Dude, it's just I don't even know what to say about him. It blows my mind. Once I started like really looking at things in wrestling, and when I started really like knowing more about it and looking at details and things like that, not just the spectacle, but looking at actual matches and being a fan of how someone moves and everything, I started appreciating him during the end of his WWE run when he came back, especially because I was like, you came back and that's your life's love.
Yeah.
And you get to come back to it and end on your own terms. Great. Then when he was a part of AEW, I was watching him even more intently because he was able to let loose more. And I'm still just floored by how he I could watch him just pour a cup of coffee and be like, the way, I don't know how it's just cool for me. So yes, that's awesome. Oh, those are the names you brought up are incredible names.
Yeah, and just in general, like I personally kind of pride myself on being adaptable. Like if you put me in a situation, even if it's not my style that I started with, as I keep going, I start to adapt and start to pick things up and just improve in any area that you put me in. That's like not to, I don't want to gas myself up, but like that's that's something I pride myself on. And so like really anybody, that's the thing about it. It's like there's so many people that I would love to just figure out how to put this match to be good with this person, even if it's like a styles clash. No pun intended.
Yes. That was a good one. That was a good one. That was a good one.
It just happened. But even if it's just like a styles clash, like I want to adapt and I want to have the best matches that I can with anybody.
Now, you made a distinction, which I think I heard. You said present day AJ Styles.
No, present day I meant just he's still wrestling today.
Because I was wondering. I was like, he's like, I mean, Styles is just a different. He's like one of those wrestlers that you just like, how?
Right.
Like how? Well, when you said present day, I was like, I was wondering if there was a reason why you said present day, like certain things that he does now, that he doesn't do, anymore because of whatever it is.
Right. Well, I meant more like, sorry to interrupt you. I meant more like because Eddie, I knew I was gonna say Eddie Guerrero, obviously.
Yeah.
And he's no longer with us. But AJ Styles is someone like today that is still, in my opinion, just he's amazing.
Yeah, I mean there's a reason why he's been called phenomenal across wherever he's gone.
For sure.
It just watching him in TNA, I was like, okay. Then he left, and I didn't know where he was. I didn't know that he went somewhere else. I thought that he just had like was taking time, what have you. Then learning that he was part of Bullet Club and then like that, and then that's kind of how when I started getting into New Japan and learning about Bullet Club and that huge. I don't know who has more members, Wu Tang or Bullet Club. I don't know who has more, who has a larger roster. I have no idea, but it's crazy. And seeing like the darker, I also loved his song when he came back, Evil Ways.
Mhm.
And the darker AJ when he had longer hair and he started having like the stubble and everything. And just that was just very cool. Eddie Guerrero is, yeah, I still watch a show and think I wish Eddie was here.
Mhm.
I'd seeing what he would do today. It just the way it just he could be heelish, like sinister or heelish funny. He could charismatic. I remember the promo when he was just letting loose about addiction.
Yeah,
And he was
yeah,
just letting loose.
yeah.
And you would damn near get a tear
Mhm.
because you felt it. Eddie just had that. I remember seeing the last match of his with Dean Malenko and ECW. I
Mhm.
watched that match about 10 times. I think I still have it on DVD
Okay,
and
awesome.
just watching it. It was just beautiful. Yeah, Eddie Hayabusa. The names that you're saying, I'm just like, yeah. Hayabusa, seeing Hayabusa do the things they did, and just, I think Hayabusa was my introduction to Japanese wrestling.
Mhm.
And like having the Phoenix Splash. It was him and it was a tag team, him and Hakushi.
Yes,
As a
yep,
Hakushi?
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
In WWE,
Yeah, his name and I can't remember his name. I cannot remember his name.
I'm trying to think. What was his name when they did the ECW match
Yeah, I can't remember what it was.
with RVD and Sabu?
And I watched that
I think it was
match about
Shizaki.
that might be because I watched a movie. Excuse me, I watched that movie. Well, it was like a movie. I watched that match about 20 times. I have a bunch of ECW classics
Mhm.
DVDs. I would get paid and I would go right over to the video store and I would buy a DVD of them and just watch them. And yeah, just amazing names. When I was watching your video of you wrestling, I immediately thought you versus Amazing Red.
Yep. Yeah, I was a big fan of Amazing Red. Still am to this day.
And just one of those pioneers in that style. I was like,
Yes. Yep.
I wonder what, because I saw like you have a great splash, like a crossbody, and I was like, oh, I love to see what Red. Yeah, I was just thinking, and it just sounds really cool to me. Yeah, those are phenomenal names. I would just, I would watch any of those matches, all of those matches. Honestly, I would
Thank
watch a
you. Thank
gauntlet,
you.
you versus all of them. Sorry, but I would watch you versus all of them
Yeah, I got it.
in a gauntlet match. Would be awesome.
I don't know
And
if I'd be able, like I'd be pretty beat up after that.
I'm gonna
But
be honest with you, win or lose, we're all winners for having seen that match. I'm gonna be real with you. You know what I'm saying? Serious. So with that being said, and you have Power Pro Lucha, which is this amazing promotion, carrying on the tradition of geek culture infused wrestling and giving it to Philly, you know, and being like that stronghold in Philly. Great. And you going all over and everything that you're doing. I'm going to ask you this question. And I know this is going to be a hard question,
okay.
but it's one that I feel is very, very soul searing and that we need to talk about. What's your favorite snack? Always got to set you up.
I got you.
Always
I
got to set
got
you up.
you.
Gotta
I
set you up.
appreciate it. It was well done. It was well done. No, my favorite snack. I'm a big pecan swirls guy.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah. Like the tasty cake, the
Mm-hmm.
cinnamon pecan swirls. I'm a big, that was my thing growing up. So every now and again I'll, get some of those.
Okay. You know what? I'm actually gonna throw another question in there because we've got a little bit of time there. So, and that's a great snack too. Folks, usually what I do is before the show, I'm gonna give y'all a little behind the curtain scene. When I ask that last question, I give them two options of a question. Actually, no, I don't give them two options. I just tell them that it's gonna be one of it. I either ask them, This is what you're like. What do you want your legacy to be, or what's your favorite snack? There's no in between with those two questions. There is not. That's why I love throwing that question out there. But I'm gonna actually ask one more question for you. Since you said that you are a comic book fan,
Mhm.
what are, again, this could be a cross time, whatever. What are three comics that really hit you, that are like your favorite, or ones that are like comfort reads you go back to read, or ones that just hit you because of how good of a series it is?
Definitely say Spider-Man, uh, especially like Craven's Last Hunt
Oh, okay.
was a that's a big one.
Classic.
Yeah, for sure. Batman, a friend like put me onto the Killing Joke like when I was in high school,
Mm,
uh, so that's a big one for me. And then let's see, I'll go X-Men. Trying to think which one I want to go.
there's no wrong answer. To be honest with you,
Yeah, no, there's not. I want to
um,
see.
it's hard to think of a bad X-Men. I mean, I'm sure there some that are lackluster, but it's hard to think of a bad one.
Right. I'm trying to think which one do I want to like put the shine on. Do I want to
Mm,
go with like Days of Future Past, or do I want to go with like House of M, or do I want to go with Old Man Logan? Uh,
mm,
there's so many, like I would say probably X-Men. X-Men was like my first like introduction, because like I grew up the original X-Men animated series, like that was kind of like
mhm.
one of the first shows I ever saw. you
Wow.
know, so like that was big for me. So I would just say, yeah, X-Men. Those comics that I named
Mhm.
would be my pick. I know that's cheating, but it's hard to like single one out
There's not.
from
Oh
those
no, no.
lists.
I'll like. I never asked. Like, somebody did ask me. They were like, "Oh, do you mean a particular issue?" I was like, "No, no, 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 no. That's way too particular. No, just tell me what you like." No, I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, well, but what about 47? You didn't like issue 47? That was no. I'm not.
Okay.
That's no. That's dastardly work. I'm not gonna do that. X-Men. Yeah, there's X-Men is such a rich history.
Mm.
So much there. I'm trying to actually start with the Krakoa stuff and work my way up to present day,
Mhm.
because the Krakoa thing was so inventive and crazy. Batman, I'm hit or miss with Batman. I mean, it depends. Killing Joke is one of those comics that it was very polarizing. Either you like it or you don't like it,
Mhm.
or you think it's interesting, maybe. I would say if you're into Batman, try out Batman White Knight.
Okay.
It's basically it's 3 volumes, and it's basically Batman is a menace.
Mhm.
I mean, he's kind of a menace to Gotham anyway, because he could
Yeah.
just do better as Bruce Wayne, but what have you.
Right.
That's not the. But it's basically it's him chasing the Joker. Nightwing and Batgirl are trying to stop him. He's tearing up the city because he has a Batmobile that's like bigger than the Tumbler.
Mm. Okay.
He's tearing, and he's driving on people's roofs too, which doesn't make any sense at all. But what have you? Meanwhile, the Joker is on like a little like kick scooter. I kid you not. Suspenders and a t-shirt. It's hilarious visual. He makes the Joker swallow these pills. He doesn't know what they're in, like what they are, and it
Mhm.
turns the Joker sane.
Mm.
And he actually runs for mayor or governor, and he wants to bring down Batman for being a menace on the city.
Okay.
It's very interesting how it turns the tables, but it's beautifully written, beautifully drawn. I would check that out if you like it. For Batman,
Yeah, I would
Spider-Man. I mean, Craven's
definitely.
Last Hunt. I don't know how you can. That's one of those. That's one of those comics that just stays with you.
Mhm.
It really. Those are awesome choices. Yeah. Now I want to go back and actually reread some Spider-Man,
Yeah.
and not Miles, but Peter, because I'm reading Miles right now, so I'm trying to
Okay.
go back and watch Peter. I guess what happened. So, folks, look, professional wrestling has had an incredible resurgence over the last few years, and you love to see promotions that are growing and thriving and just being bigger, just getting better. And Power Pro Lucha is one of them. And if you're into like geek culture and comic books, gaming stuff like that, this is going to be a promotion for you, because you'll see the influences in the characters, as you saw from even like the graphics, as I will show you again because I want you to see the graphics for the events. You can see, if you're of my age, or maybe a little longer, but you just know about gaming, you'll see definitely the influences of graphics from video games and the graphics for these events. and in the characters and the love that is there. To infuse two things like this, there's love, there's passion, there's soul, there's heart, and that's what Power Pro Lucha is filled with this roster of incredible professional wrestlers. I'm happy that you're doing everything you are. I'm glad that I'm getting deeper into wrestling now and that I'm checking you out. I spent the last couple of days watching you and Ashe wrestling.
Mm. Okay, yeah.
And I'm happy seeing Black people
Mhm.
having a time of their life doing their thing and performing. And it's great. So in September, excuse me, September 12th and 13th, we have Trios. I don't know why I could not say that whole word together. I think it's because it's been a very long day, but that's the thing. So Chrono Trios, this is going to be a tournament of trios, and you're going to be crowning new champions, correct?
Well, winners of the tournament, champions for the tournament, triple tech champions, as we were calling them, but not in terms of like for the promotion.
Right. But I think that's going to be cool. A tournament event over 2 nights as well.
Yes.
And the fact that it's going to be a 2-night event, you're going to get double the fun, double the action, double just the cool wrestling. Tickets are still available. The link for the website is in the episode description, so please go check it out. Go check them also on YouTube as well. I recommend the Christmas video. I absolutely love. I'm still thinking about it now because after this, I'm going to go back and actually watch it. I'm going to be honest with you because it was hilarious. I love things like that are just kind of random and funny, and even like the way that you're standing talking. I'm like, yeah, okay, sure, all right. Yeah, that's all right. It's very aloof, and I love that. It's very aloof and dry. Is like my thing. I love aloof and dry. Just don't make my chicken dry because I will get upset.
I agree with that.
Exactly. Yeah. Who wants dry chicken, especially in a Christmas sketch? Who wants dry chicken?
Yeah, nobody.
God, it's horrible. So yes, please go and check out Power Pro Lucha. Like I said, have a new event coming up in September 12th and 13th, 2-night event tournament. But there's also going to be a ladder match. You said on the second night.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, a tournament and a ladder match, and you're going to get so much more in between, which is so awesome. I want to thank you so very much for being here, Danger Hawk. I don't think I've said your name enough because I just like saying Danger Hawk. I'm gonna be honest with you. They're not two words I get to say very often. So thank you so much to Danger Hawk for being here. I truly appreciate it. Thank you to Black Sci-Fi TV. I don't know why I was about to say with a twang. Black Sci-Fi TV. I don't know why it was. It's been a very long day. Folks, you know how I am. I'm up at like 3 o'clock in the morning on Fridays I mean, there is a reason, but I shouldn't, but what have you. So yes, for Black Sci-Fi TV, very honored to be able to have this collaboration, this crossover episode, which is cool. And I got to talk to Danger Hawk about this incredible promotion, Power Pro Lucha. Danger Hawk, do you have any last words for the folks?
I just want to thank you for having me on. This is really fun. I love what you're doing. I was like shining a light on people like me that are like, came up in nerd culture and we're trying to do something with that. And like, as Black people, trying to represent and just do something different and like find our way in different spaces. That's like one thing, like putting the mask on and wearing the mask. Like there's not a lot of masked Black wrestlers. And that's one thing that like I take pride in and that I thought was real cool when I got the mask and I started wrestling under the mask. Is like I can show young Black kids that like you can, do different things. Like you don't have to be in a box. Mm-hmm. There's a variety. You can do whatever. You can be whatever you want to be. And mass high flying luchador, I guess, is one of them.
Yeah.
So thank you for giving me this opportunity and the space to tell my story a bit and promote Power Pro Lucha.
Look, I'm gonna say this honestly. Had a great time. You want to come back? You let me know. I mean, and I will get you on a day, and we'll talk about if you have an event coming, we'll talk about it. If you just want to talk wrestling in general, because there are a lot, we could have had a different conversation today with the last couple of weeks that we've had in wrestling. we could have had a different conversation today, but I wanted to, instead of putting a spotlight on that, I want to put a spotlight on Danger Hawk and on Power Pro Lucha. That's what I want to do with that,
I'm
because
down to
that's
come
where
back.
it's important.
Down to come back whenever.
Look, as long as I got power and I got internet and I got a laptop, I will get you here.
All right, Sam,
All
I'll
right.
be here.
All right. Thank you so very much, sir. You have a very good evening, folks. I want you to have a very good evening. Enjoy the rest of it. This has been the Hungry Bleak Show in collaboration, in cahoots even, with Black Sci-Fi TV, bringing you Danger Hawk of Power Pro Lucha. You all have a very good evening. Enjoy the rest of it. Be safe, drink water, and as always, F Trump. All right. I'm going to see y'all later. Peace.